Yo, this stuff has like way too much detail. What's up guys, HMK here from the 5th dimension, and if you've been living under a rock, something gigantic happened when it comes to the N64 and its games. A huge leak consisting of assets and source code of many games just exploded over the weekend. And we've been seeing so much stuff when it comes to developmental material, beta sprites and beta models, areas, coding, and what this video is going to be focused on, art. I mean, you've probably seen it every now and again when it comes to the L is real. Hold this L. The L is true, the L is real. The L is alive after so many years. Luigi. But when it comes to all of these leaks, something that has captured my heart, when you guys already know, Ocarina of Time is the best game ever. It's the best fucking game ever. Don't at me, bro. And yes, Ocarina of Time, as well as Majora's Mask, has developmental aspects leaked thanks to this huge explosion of assets and stuff. Now when it comes to the details of the leak, there is a huge rabbit hole when it comes to the story of how these came to light. Basically, the TLDR, to my understanding, is that Nintendo outsources another company in order to create or hold these assets along with the source code, and that Nintendo needed it recently, which makes you think, and that apparently all of this stuff got intercepted along the way. It's a developing story, and I'm pretty sure there's a lot more to it, but for the sake of this video, we're going to be focusing on the artwork when it comes to the Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time. And I'm not just talking about like straight up artwork, like, you know, a picture. I'm talking about things in the game that I never knew was this clean. Too much detail. Because I remember back in the day when I played Ocarina of Time for the first time on the N64, and the icons and the artwork that you see on the subscreen, and when you look at the instruction manual and all that stuff, it looked good, but it couldn't really get to that point of high definition as things are now, and I never thought it would. But of course, it had to be high definition enough in order to incorporate into these aspects. But yo, can I tell you how detailed some of these things are? You're gonna be floored. So let's take a trip down memory lane when it comes to these specific artworks and more. Here we have Child Link, and I've already like zoomed into this, and look at the detail. I mean, they're missing something. I'm pretty sure there was supposed to be a buckle under his boot and whatnot, but I'm telling you right now, Nintendo never officially released these pieces of art. The best way we could see them was either through the instruction manual or through various, you know, mediums when it comes to magazines or strategy guides and whatnot. But this, we finally have it full, clean glory. I mean, I honestly did not expect to see this in this definition. And yo, this is Adult Link. Check it out. We've seen like rips of these artworks before to the best of the ability of people being able to clean these up and whatnot, but this is like the pure, untainted, how it's supposed to be. And for the first time we're seeing, and this just looks too clean. But I'm telling you right now, what you're seeing now is like the tip of the iceberg when it comes to the rest of the stuff. Here we have another artwork of Link just jumping up. These are some artworks that are very well known within the Zelda community, and man, they look so good. I miss this art style. Bring it back, Nintendo. Breath of the Wild's art style is pretty cool, but I mean, I miss this. You know, it could be the nostalgia goggles I'm wearing, but man, remake Ocarina of Time, please. Now, here's something very cool. These are the pieces of artworks that shows Link's actions that, to my knowledge, have only existed in the instruction manuals of The Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time. And people tried to take this and rip it, but of course they had to scan the booklet and try to clean up the art as much as they can. Now we have it. Now it's clean. Now it's just too perfect. Here we have Link running, and here we have Link facing against Gohma, the first boss of Ocarina of Time. And honestly, I remember this artwork from back in the day from looking at instruction manuals and the strategy guides. When you see an artwork piece like this from back in the day, you kind of like think to yourself that this was never meant to be in high definition, or was never meant to be defined, you know, bigger than what you see in the instruction manual or in the strategy guide, because of course with this specific artwork you see that there's colors bleeding out of both Link, Gohma, and the Gohma babies. But seeing this in its grand glory just makes me think that this was definitely artistic design running. And here we have our boy Link with Epona, and look at the muscles all over this horse. Look at Link's smile. I've never seen Link smile that detailed before in my life. When it comes to Ocarina of Time Link. Maybe Child Link, but Adult Link, he hardly ever smiles. Okay, this one's really cool. This is part of the promotional piece that is tied to the box art of The Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time. And, you know, we've seen this artwork before, Link using his bow and arrow, but that nice red hue that is usually on the boxes of, you know, back in the day. If you own the N64, you already know. And look at just the detail, the shading, the threading when it comes to the artwork of Link's tunic, his gauntlets, everything going into this. Just like, man, Nintendo, I can't believe you've been sitting on this the whole time. Now here's where we get into the juicy stuff. Here is a panoramic shot of the Temple of Time, and it just really makes you think. I mean, of course, with the details and the way that this was constructed, you know, this was always meant to be static, a static background for Link just to go into a door space in order to lead him into the Temple of Time, which of course was constructed with polygons. This is literally just artwork. And it makes you, you know, really think of those games that were made really back in the day, like RuneScape or any type of computer game that just had these weird, what's the word I'm looking for? Not stop motion graphics, but pre-rendered videos in the style back in the day with really old computer games, especially on the N64, PC, and PlayStation. But what's really bothering me about how great this art is that you can actually see the reflection in these like orbs that probably make up the gate going into the Temple of Time, you know, the courtyard and whatnot. It's just, man, like Ocarina of Time 3D gave us a good glimpse of what this will be like if it was completely rendered with, you know, 3D polygons and whatnot. But I just like this is leaving a lot to be desired when it comes to Ocarina of Time and its true intent back in the day. I just, and Ocarina of Time remake doesn't sound like a bad idea, Nintendo. I'm just saying. Ooh, now this one's really clean. The Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time logo. Now, of course, when it comes to Hylian Shield and the Master Sword and the logo of the Legend of Zelda, specifically for Ocarina of Time, people try to clean it up, and then we got the new version for Ocarina of Time 3D. But when we zoom in its full glory, I'm just saying that the texture of the Zelda word really bothers me because it's too clean. Of course, we have the divots that lead into the design of the Z that we all know to this day still exists and whatnot, but seeing it here just on this like clay-like bumpy surface, I'm like, you did not have to go in this hard for the 5th Legend of Zelda game, Nintendo. I'm just saying. And then you can see here with the Hylian Shield, and I'm pretty sure there's artwork of the Hylian Shield later on that we can see. There you can see there's like, you know, bumps and damage all across the shield and whatnot. And then you can see the texture of the Master Sword. Like if you really look closely, the golden diamond that's there, you know, in further Legend of Zelda games, it's inlaid with stuff. But you can see the texture. I can almost feel it right now. Like, oh, it just looks so good. Of course, the Master Sword's design has changed over the years and whatnot, and this is the first time technically we've known the Master Sword to be blue, because in A Link to the Past, the artwork suggests that the hilt was gold and that the grip had some red inlays in it. But of course, in the game, it looks blue. But seeing this, like the blue part, just like everything up until the pommel of the sword just looking super detailed, I can feel it. I can see texture. I can feel texture through my eyes. And now, ladies and gentlemen, the coup de grace to all this, the items! High definition pictures of the items of the Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time. You know, back in the day, even on the N64, the GameCube version, just I paid it no mind when looking at these artwork pieces and whatnot, because they would get, you know, really blurry and really pixelated and whatnot, especially when you choose them and put them onto one of your C buttons or the C stick in the GameCube version. But seeing these in its true intent is just like, Nintendo, wow! Why? Look at the Deku stick. The Deku stick is just like, you can see the wood. In the slingshot, you can see the polish in the wood. It's made out of wood. You can see the light seeping, glowing out of the Deku nut. You can see the texture and the smoothness of the boomerang. You can look at the jewel itself. Yo, the lens of truth, the fact that it's like reflecting in all aspects of the surface, you can make out there's a shape at the bottom of the lens of truth, which could suggest, hey, Shadow Temple, because, you know, the Shadow Medallion has the Triforce, not Triforce, but the triangle upside down. We couldn't pick up on that detail before. We see the fairy ocarina, we see the Ocarina of Time, we see the bomb. Look at the bomb's smoothness. I can feel it looks like a bald head. Like, oh, the bomb chews eyes glow. Can we talk about the magic beans? The fact that the magic beans had different colors within the beans. Look at that. Like, you have the little red inside the green, you have the yellow inside the blue, you have the blue inside the yellow, and you have the yellow inside the red. Like, Nintendo, what? The bow and arrow, once again, the same type of texture, very similar texture to what we saw with the fairy slingshot. And bro, the elemental arrows, the fire arrow, ice arrow, and the light arrow, just seeing it crystallize, the energy pulsating out. But when it comes to the elements, we have something else going forward. We have the Megaton Hammer, which, I mean, it's the Megaton Hammer. Like, it's nice, pulse, shiny. We see the detail in the grip, and now we come to Din's Fire, Pharaoh's Wind, and Nehru's Love. Of course, we can kind of see that, you know, they're comprised of different elements and different cores when it comes to the light shining within the crystals. But now we can see fully, beautifully, that these have different effect patterns when it comes to Din's Fire, Pharaoh's Wind, and Nehru's Love. Nehru's Love shines out. Din's Fire is just like emanating like something like a heartbeat, right? But then we have some weird squiggly lines going on when it comes to Pharaoh's Wind. Just like details that you could not pick up before. Look at these magic jars. And then we come to the bottles. The bottles with each of the potions, the green potion, the red potion, and the blue potion. They all look pretty clean, but what is freaking me out is the detail in the cork. Like, excuse me? It's so funny how we have this much fucking detail in a bottle when it comes to the bottle sprite and whatnot, but the actual in-game sprite of the bottle was like just this two-dimensional. It didn't even look like a bottle, it just looked like glass that was put together just painstakingly and stuff. It just like, oh, this is just a containment where this will have to do. The Deku Seed bullet bag, the bomb bag. I didn't even know there was like letters on the thing that tied the bomb bag, the little like scrunchie. I didn't even know there was letters on this thing. And now we can see the texture of the bomb bag itself, because as we all know, according to Ocarina of Time, a bomb bag is made from a Dodongo's stomach. We have the quiver, which is made out of wood, inlaid with the different properties, you know, bronze, silver, gold when it comes to each of the tiers. The Goron's bracelet, shiny. The silver scale, I mean, I got what I was looking for when it comes to the silver scale. Look at the detail on the Kokiri sword. Bro, I don't think any version of the Kokiri sword moving forward when it comes to melee or HD or anything like that have this amount of detail. Bro, like, what is this? This is freaking me out. The Giant's Knife, aka the Big Goron sword, looks really nice, but then I really want to get to the Deku's shield. The Deku shield has too much damn detail. It's made out of wood. The carving inside the wood has like little like ridges and bumping and waves to it, and then the outer part of the shield that was probably like, you know, cut off, smoothened out in order to be held as a shield, also has the shading and the divots. And you did not have to go in this hard, Nintendo. Like, quality is our recipe, Wendy's. And we have the original look when it comes to the mirror shield. And as we all know, the mirror shield original emblem, the emblem of the Garuda, was changed in order to, you know, take away any type of connections to the Islamic religion. But look at the colors all swirling within the mirror of the mirror shield. And the details that really tell me that this is a mirror. The Stone of Agony. Why is the Stone of Agony this, like, man? It really looks like, I mean, of course, it's the Stone of Agony, but this really makes it look like a stone that someone like chipped out in order to make it look like a rumble pack. The tunics, Kokiri, Goron, and Zora. You can see the fabric. Why am I able to see the fabric? All right, the long shot and the hook shot. This freaks me out a little bit because you can actually see the chains wrapping around. It's not like some, like, you know, hanky-panky, just like, oh, this is just great. It represents the chains. No, Nintendo was all like, yeah, we're gonna wrap the chains and see that, you know, it's straight up wrapped chains around the spring-loaded mechanism of the shots. Just, wow, Nintendo. But I will say this, there's still no like button to show me how to activate the hook shot or the long shot. Maybe I'll just use my mind. And now we come to the boots. The Kokiri boots, the iron boots, and the hover boots. The iron boots and the hover boots freak me out because you can see, I'm pretty sure that's like a sky texture that they put against in order to reflect off of it, but that is what we call the extra mile. I can see the sky. I'm pretty sure that's the moon, or maybe just like a cloud over the moon. I'm going by what I see on the iron boots because the hover boots kind of look like daybreak or twilight or whatever. But this type of reflection was not needed. It could have just given it a nice sheen. Like, Nintendo must have known that this game would have never seen the light of day in HD during the time they made these. So why? What were you planning? Oh man, this is some James Cameron Avatar shit where it's like, oh, the technology wasn't ready yet. A piece of heart and a heart container. Pretty simple. Nothing to freak me out over. The dungeon map, which contains, aspects of the dungeon that we thought, because we obviously saw like boxes and like words and pixelated, but if you zoom in, if you use your special eyes, you can actually see chest icons and a skull icon indicating where the boss could be on this dungeon map. Why? The compass literally has wear and tear on the top and around the side of the compass. I mean, I just don't understand. Yo, look at this boss key. This boss key, I didn't even see that this boss key had any type of writing or glyphs or hieroglyphs or anything like that. Just, my mind is blown. We have a regular key, and then we have these little fuckers, the gold sculptulas. It's like, that's gold, but those legs are hairy. But yeah, that's pretty much the roundup of all the art I was able to find at this point in time. There's more, and there's continuing more. There's sprites, there's beta enemies, there's dungeon textures. There's a whole rabbit hole going into this mess. Google is your friend. Go down and go just into the 5th dimension with this stuff. This is super freaky, and it's super nice to see all of this high quality artwork and assets when it comes to one of my favorite games of all time. I just took a whole trip down memory lane, and it was very, it was both enlightening and unsettling. But I want to know what you guys think when it comes to all of this crazy artwork. I'm actually looking at the Ocarina of Time right now, and I'm pretty sure it's reflecting the same texture used to reflect off of the iron boots and the hover boots. Like, look on, we could not pick up on this kind of stuff before. That's how crazy it is. Leave your thoughts and comments in the comment section below, and once again, if you enjoy this type of content, be sure to subscribe to HMK for more Zelda content that I post every week. So guys, until the next video, this has been HMK, and I will check you guys later.